Hello and welcome to Only Connect, the show that solves wars. It doesn't build them like Donald Trump does. Now, I know some viewers will be saying, oh, how predictable from the BBC, having a go at the 45th President of the United States. So liberal. But I hope at least some of you will be saying, yes, technically Donald Trump is the 45th President of the United States, but of course there have only actually been 44 because Grover Cleveland served 2 non-concurrent terms. You are my people. Joining me tonight, again, are, on my right, Nick Thomas, a keen choral singer who has his own allotment; Patrick Buckingham, a biochemistry graduate who came across an abandoned tin of custard on an Antarctic expedition; and their captain, Martin Smith, a taxi driver and memorabilia dealer who shook the hand of Gary Hart in a San Francisco lift. United by an enthusiasm for early 80s electropop, they are the Electrophiles. Are you not a fan of late 80s electropop?
I wouldn't say that. I do like some late 80s electropop. I think we all do. But certainly, for gentlemen of our era, the early 80s were the formative years.
You are playing this evening on my left, Kyle Lamb, a mini-golf enthusiast who has extracted a spider from someone's ear; Izzy Bogod, a classics graduate who can touch her nose with her tongue; and their captain, Toby Nonamaker, a PhD student in particle physics who worked for 7 days in a Japanese mine. All keen bridge players, they are the Suits. Toby, I believe you've recently flown in from Japan. You left and came back mid-series.
That's right. I left the day after our last episode and I flew back yesterday.
You're not worried the jet lag will affect your game?
I feel terrible.
Well, good luck. Normally people feel terrible at the end of the show, but why not start as you mean to go on? You won the toss, Suits, but you've decided to throw your opponents in first. So, Electrophiles, please choose a hieroglyph.
The twisted flax, please, Victoria.
The twisted flax. What is the connection between these picture clues? Here's the first.
Very much for gentlemen prefer bars. Madonna did the video, but...
Next, please.
That's Deborah Carr, I think. Yeah, the King and I think.
Next, please.
That's Natalie Wood in West Side Story. They're all musicals, aren't they? Can we see the fourth?
Next, please.
That's My Fair Lady. OK, I think they were all successful stage plays that were turned into films.
Gonna go with that.
I think they were all successful stage plays that were actually turned into films.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit broad. I need to hear something else.
Are they all Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals?
They are not all Rodgers and Hammerstein. So a bonus chance for you, Suits.
We believe they all opened and shut their mouths while Marnie Nixon sang.
They all opened and shut their mouths while Marnie Nixon sang. That is absolutely right. Who are we looking at?
Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. We're looking at Audrey Hepburn.
It's Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Deborah Carr in The King and I.
And West Side Story is...
it's Natalie Wood. And it was really awful for Natalie Wood because she recorded the songs and then she filmed by lip-syncing to her own recordings. And separately, Marnie Nixon was recording the song. So Natalie Wood found out really late that it wasn't her own voice and was devastated. They all had their singing dubbed in the films we're looking at by Marnie Nixon. What would you like for your own question?
We'll have the Hornet Viper, please.
OK. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
How does it go? All right, we'll take the next one, please. This is different. Is it okay, keep going? Yeah. And the next one, please. And next, please. Yeah, and there must be a series of blocks.
Periods of time.
And there must be a series of blocks. Okay, yeah.
2 seconds.
We think these are all things in World of Warcraft.
They all are expansions in World of Warcraft. Very well done. How many subscribers do you think World of Warcraft has?
Millions? Tens of millions?
20 million.
100 million.
Wow.
That means if World of Warcraft were a country, it would be the 14th most populous in the world. More people play World of Warcraft than live in Germany or Egypt. I mean, it's an enormous number. Very well done. Electrophiles, what would you like next?
2 reads, please.
2 reads. OK. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Polska, isn't it? It's Polska. So it's
Next, please.
It's Polk. Minus B plus V. Hang on.
Is it the...
It's a cube.
No, I'm not getting the...
Can I have the next one, please?
Next, please.
What you got? Plus A.
Is it...
Next one.
Next, please.
It's capital cities, isn't it?
2 seconds.
Go on, Nick.
It says capital cities in English and in the native language with the letters changed.
That's exactly right. It's the capital cities. I know you started early looking for the names of the actual countries, but for example, in the Czech Republic, Prague would be called Praha. In Portugal, Lisbon would be Lisboa. So underneath is a little equation for which letters you take away and which you add to get the capital city in English. Well done. Suits, what would you like?
We'd like the Ira Forest, please.
Then it shall be yours. What connects these clues? Here's the first.
That rings a bell.
Something.
We'll have the next one, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. It's a short play, isn't it? It's probably on a train.
Well, that's close.
We think these are all on trains or going...
I don't think I can give it to you, I'm afraid. Electrophiles, a chance for bonus for you.
I think they were written on railway stations or written on a train.
That's not it either. If I could take all the words you've spoken and recut it like people do on the internet, I think I could make the answer.
So set at railway
They
stations.
are set at railway stations, and I think it's quite important that in some of the cases the people are at railway stations, not trains. Oh, Dr. Beeching is actually about the people who work at the station. They're frightened it'll be closed down because of the Beeching report. Brief Encounter, of course, they meet at tea shops on the railway station platform. The Whitsun Weddings, what's that?
We're not sure.
Oh, it's a Philip Larkin poem. A Philip Larkin poem. And Homeward Bound, that's Simon and Garfunkel. I'm sitting in the railway station, got a ticket for my destination. Very close, but it's stations, they're the settings. What would you like next, Electrophiles?
I have the water, please.
OK, the water question. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next, please.
I think she get
Oh,
the...
named after.
Sorry?
Oh, named after, isn't she?
Yes.
Next, please.
Jocelyn Bell. She got a Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize winning for
I think-
their topics.
Yeah, I think they did. I think...
Do you want to go for that? Take the last one.
Yeah, I love... Last one?
Next, please.
No, she didn't get one, did she? I think they didn't. They didn't get
Related.
one. No, they couldn't get one.
2 seconds.
Related.
I think it was because... so Rosalind Franklin could not be included in the Nobel Prize because she was dead, so...
What is the connection between these 4 clues?
They were maybe famous omissions from Nobel Prizes?
They are omissions from Nobel Prizes. They are absolutely women who did not win the Nobel Prize, and some would say should have done. So Rosalind Franklin, she did die before the 1962 Nobel Prize was given to Watson and Crick, but the others, Chen Sheng-wu, she showed that the law of parity didn't work for weak interactions. It wasn't true. And the 1957 Nobel Prize in Physics was given to scientists who'd questioned it, but not to her who proved it. Lisa Meitner, do you know who she is? Don't we have a physicist over there?
Yeah, so she wasn't given the Nobel Prize, and Otto Hahn, who was rather unpleasant, was given it in her stead. She later had a chemical element named after her to sort of try to vaguely make up for it, but that was after her death.
That's it. So her research partner, Otto Hahn, won the prize. And possibly worst of all, Jocelyn Bell Burnell, who was the first person to observe pulsars. The Nobel Prize for Physics was given, as it were, to that in 1974, but it went to her PhD supervisor, not her. And she has won other things since. In fact, there's a great quote from Burnell. She says, "I feel I've done very well out of not getting a Nobel Prize. If you get a Nobel Prize, you have this fantastic week, then nobody gives you anything else. If you don't get a Nobel Prize, you get everything that moves. Almost every year there's been some sort of party because I've got another award. That's much more fun," which is very gracious of her, but really a terrible omission. And in 2018, she was given a $3 million prize for her work on pulsars, and she gave it to the Institute of Physics Fund for PhD studentships for people that are underrepresented in physics. So a really amazing woman, but all amazing women who specifically did not win Nobel Prizes. Well done. Suits, what would you like?
We'll have the lion, please.
Just as well, because that's all there is, and it's the music question waiting there in the bottom of the barrel. What connects these clues? Here's the first.
Next, please.
I think it's almost 4 a.m., but baby, I'm still feeling just fine. Ice all up in a plastic cup, and I'ma keep on sipping
Next,
all night.
You feel blue, you feel sad. You'll miss the bestest pal you ever had. There'll come a time, now don't forget it.
Next, please.
Three seconds.
Sorry?
Cheering people up.
We think these are all about cheering people up.
They are not all about cheering people up, though it's a lovely idea. Electrophiles, can you cheer yourselves up with a bonus point?
They all contain elements.
They don't,
Fire.
but do give me the examples.
Well, after the love has gone, Earth, Wind and Fire, I believe is the
Oh,
last.
I see. Very good.
Yeah.
No, it's more about the title of the song. After the love has gone. We also heard After You've Gone, After the After Party, and Après un rêve. It's things that happen after other things. What happened next? That is the link. That means at the end of round one, the Suits have 2 points, the Electrophiles have 2 points. And what happened next? They played the sequences round. But what happened in that round? I don't know. We haven't played it yet. How confusing. You'll be going first again. Electrophiles, what would you like?
The Horned Viper, please.
OK, you'll be seeing a maximum of 3 picture clues. What sort of thing would you expect to see in the fourth picture? Here's the first.
Next, please. Next, please. Danny Dyer.
Can't see it. Blade. I'm not seeing this.
3 seconds.
Do we have anything, folks?
I don't.
Fencing.
Not it, I'm afraid. Suits, do you know?
Is it some dye?
It is not some dye. The key here is the first picture. That arrow is supposed to indicate a broadsword. So it is broadsword. Do you know now?
Yeah.
Danny
What is it?
Calling Danny Boy.
Broadsword calling Danny Boy would be in the last picture from Where Eagles Dare. Unlucky. Suits, what would you like?
We would like the Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please. Next one, please.
Three seconds.
We will say Scott 10.
I'm afraid that's not the right answer. So, Electrophiles, a bonus chance for you.
Aldrin and Collins with 11 in brackets.
I think I have to give it to you because it is a sequence of Apollo missions and we're looking for something about number 11. The sequence we intended was astronauts who walked on the moon. That's why you don't see 13. So Apollo 15, that is 2 astronauts, David Scott and James Irwin. At 14, Shepard and Mitchell. And, of course, at 13, nobody walked on the moon, so you don't get any astronauts. Conrad and Bean at 12. So 11, it would be Aldrin and Armstrong, because they're the ones who walked on the moon. But yours is still a sequence. I mean, you miss out 13, but it's a sequence of successful Apollo missions that got to the moon with astronauts on board. Aldrin and Collins were on board, so you've got Apollo, you've got that it's 11, you've given me 2 astronauts, so you can have the point. What would you like for the next question?
The lion, please, Victoria.
Lion. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please.
It's not really Peter presenters, is it? Won't be serving, going about. No.
Okay, done. Next, please.
It's the Corleones. It's Corleones. So hang on a minute. Cordy, Michael, Fredo. It's the James Caan's one.
Yeah,
It's Sunny. I think it's Sunny. It's Sunny. It's Sunny.
We're saying sunny.
It is Sunny. What's the sequence?
They're the Corleone siblings in reverse order of age. Is that right? In The Godfather.
Well, yeah, they're getting older.
Yes.
They are the siblings, the Corleone siblings getting older. And Sunny, played by?
James Caan.
Yeah.
James Caan is the oldest. Exactly right. Back to you, Suits, for a question. What would you like?
We'll take the twisted flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please. Next, please. Are those new Prime Minister's names?
2 seconds.
We will try London 1986.
I'm afraid that's not a sequence. Electrophiles, do you know?
I'm going to go for London 1998.
It is 1998, but it's not London.
Yeah.
It's Birmingham. Birmingham 1998. And the reason is, these are occasions when the UK hosted the Eurovision Song Contest. That's right, and the clue would be in the previous years, of course. We'd won the Eurovision Song Contest, except not in the first clue. What happened there?
I think there was a problem. The host country couldn't actually host it, didn't they? They maybe didn't have enough money.
Well, it was Luxembourg, and they won it 2 years in a row, and they just didn't want to spend the money on having it again. So the UK did that, presented by lovely Katie Boyle. Birmingham 1998 was the answer. Electrophiles, what would you like?
2 reads, please.
2 reads. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please.
Irish, right. Yeah, you're right. So it's red, orange.
Next, please.
Belgian centre. Red, orange. It's a rainbow, isn't it? It's a rainbow. Is it the rainbow? It's green, red. Yeah. Green on the right. Is that Italy?
Irish left in green, yeah?
Is it Italy?
2 seconds.
Italy right, green, yeah. Italy right in green.
I'm afraid that is not a sequence. Suits, do you know?
We'll say Irish left. In green. In green.
Irish left in green is exactly what we had ourselves. What's the sequence?
These are the colours of the rainbow as on the flags of these countries.
It's exactly right. These are stripes on the flags of those countries in those colours. So any country that had green in the flag and the Irish or Italian flags would have it on the left. Unlucky. So you get the bonus Suits and you get the last question of the round, the water question. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please. Next, please. row. So A4 with 5.
Is it queuing? No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, there's not two E's.
2 seconds.
We're going with queuing, and we're spelling it with 5 vowels.
Well, that's the correct way to spell it, so I'm glad you are.
Unsure.
5, for example, queuing. And as you say, it's about the vowels. So there are 2 consecutive vowels in beast, 3 in queen, 4 in gooeyest. If that's a word, I'm not entirely sure that it is. Onomatopoeia might have been a more legitimate clue, but something with 5 vowels, for example.
Onomatopoeia for 4.
Queuing.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
For 4.
So there's a lot of dispute about how we spell simple words.
At the end of onomatopoeia, you'll find 4 vowels and 5 in queuing. And that means at the end of round 2, the suits have 5 points, the electrophiles have 5 points. Time now for the connecting wall. And it's your turn to go first. Would you like lion or water?
I will have the lion, please.
The lion wall. You have 2.5 minutes to solve it. Starting now.
Katze is cat in German. Do you have chat, any of those? Gatto?
Yeah.
So now we've got
Basil, chives, sage, and
parsley.
No.
But it's not the front.
tarragon.
All right.
3 lives
So
now.
Natter, Harley, and Gab.
So we'll wait
Oh,
for
they're
it. We'll wait
dictators.
Yeah, they're on
Are those stoppers?
I don't know, but
You solved the wall. You made short work of that. But what about the connections? Perhaps you've solved it by mistake. Let's have a look. Chat, cats, and so on.
We think these are the words for cat in various languages.
That's right. And the next group, age, Azil, Aragon, and so on.
Izzy got this. These are sliced herbs.
They are sliced herbs. And the next group, yak, gab, natter, parley.
These are all slang for chat. So
Just words that mean chatter.
synonyms.
And the last group, Tito, Castro, Pot, Stoff.
These are the surnames of dictators.
Communist leaders, they
Right,
actually
okay.
are. And I'm sure many would say
Apologies.
dictators, but let's just keep it to communist leaders. So you found all 4 groups and you gave me the connections. That is the maximum of 10 points. Let's bring in their opponents now, give them the other wall, the water wall, see how they get on with solving it. Electrophiles, you have 2.5 minutes, starting now.
This is.
Okay, so we've got some evil villains here, some robots.
These are. This is.
Yeah, okay.
Orc, yeah, Tolkien type creatures.
Dwarf.
Wolf and elf. He has elves in.
Elf. Okay, Ent. Keep going, guys.
Neo, is that Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Are there Matrix characters there?
Do you know? Yeah, Constantine is that right?
Yes, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Constantine.
Sorry.
So,
Neo.
Neo. Yep.
Okay.
Kai.
Yeah. No, struggling with this one.
And Ted. Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure. Was it Keanu Reeves in that?
Yeah, is it Keanu Reeves characters?
Yeah, okay. So Ted, Constantine,
Neo.
Neo definitely.
Stars. Shooting star. Pole star.
Yeah.
Dwarf star.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we still got to work on this. Definitely Tolkien here, or even
And elf. Oh, there's. I think there's foreign letters there. Elf. Ent.
out and out, and N in front of
Okay,
it.
so Ent, Elf, Neo. They're numbers, I think. Can I try those?
Klaatu is definitely a robot in a film.
I've got a feeling there are some hidden numbers in there. I really do. Can you get this?
No, we're not.
Ten seconds.
Oh, you got it. Well done.
That's it. The time is up. The wall has frozen, but you found 2 groups, one of them just at the end there. Well done.
Yeah.
What about the connections? Dwarf, shooting, pole, evening.
They can all be followed by star.
Yes, they can. They're all the stars. Hobbit, elf, orc, wog.
I think these are all creatures that Tolkien created in
Yeah.
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
That's right, they're Tolkien creatures. And you can get points for the connections in the groups you didn't find, so let's resolve the wall. Ent, neo, out, evens.
They're not numbers in foreign languages.
Unlucky. And it's
They're
staring you in the
anagrams-
face.
anagrams of
Too
letters,
late, I'm
yeah,
afraid.
Anagrams of numbers.
They are anagrams of numbers. That is 10, 1, 2, 7. Anagrams of numbers. And the last group, Ted, Constantine, and so on.
Keanu Reeves.
They are the Keanu Reeves characters. And you did put
did we put in?
Neo in the group every time.
Yes.
Neo was the red herring.
Shade.
And it was
The
in there every
cartoon,
time.
yeah.
Very unlucky. But you found 2 groups and you gave me 3 connections. That is a total of 5 points. Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Electrophiles have 10 points. The Suits have 15. So a good wall puts you a little bit ahead, Suits, but now it's the missing vowels round where points can be lost as well as won. So buzz with care. Fingers on buzzers. I can tell you that the first group are all first lines of nursery rhymes. Electrophiles.
Mary, Mary, quite contrary.
Correct. Electrophiles.
Bar, bar, black sheep.
Yes, it is. Electrophiles.
Mary had a little lamb.
Yes, it is. Suits.
Row, row, row your boat.
Correct. Next category, modern art. Don't know this one. It's too late. I've started speaking. The Lights Going On and Off by Martin Creed. Next clue. This is Tracy Emin's Everyone I Have Ever Slept With. Next clue. Suits.
Shibboleth.
Correct. Why would you even try? It's Damien Hirst's The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living. Next category, edible film titles. Electrophiles.
Sorry, got it wrong.
Suits.
American Pie.
Correct. Suits.
Space Jam.
Correct. Electrophiles.
No, I got it.
No chance to throw that over because the bell has gone. That was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Of course it was.
And looking at the final scores, the Electrophiles finish with 11 points. The Suits have 19. So well done, Suits. You are through to the quarterfinals. Electrophiles, what a lovely team, and you have shown flashes of absolute brilliance. But I'm afraid it is time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for playing.
Thanks for having us.
And coming up next on BBC Two, it's a crackerjack-style game show for adults in which Michael Portillo has to grab as much beer as he can off a conveyor belt. But we've made that beer very difficult to grab. That's Oiling Michael's six-pack next on BBC Two.